What's going on, guys? This is Wheeler. Welcome back to another video. I'm shocked that I'm gonna be making two in one year, but here we are. But I have some good news today, and the reason I'm making this video is the Model A has returned. So my grandfather's Model A is all back up and running. It's been gone for probably about a month now, getting its tank cleaned out, because that's what the issue was, and I'll get to that in a bit, but got the paint cleaned up, and this thing looks awesome. So I'm gonna pull it out, bring it out just into like some of the more of the natural light, not the garage light, so you guys can see some of the paint, and then we're gonna try to take it for a drive. So let's see how it goes. I feel like I should be dressed a little more dapper than this, to be quite honest with you. All right, so here she is. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking in the background, but she looks awesome. The paint, it came out so nice. The guy that was working on it is the same guy that did the Challenger, but he had a guy come in and was working on just polishing the paint for like, I don't know, he said like 18 days he was working on it, but it is like a mirror. It is so soft. It looks so good. I'm so happy to have this thing like in like proper condition, because it had sat for so long before I got it, and it needed some love and care. The toolbox isn't on it anymore, so the toolbox is over here, which I think I might have showed in the original video. I'm not going to open it up right now, but the toolbox has seen better days. I'm not sure if it was the toolbox that came with the car from factory or something, because the inside is kind of almost looks like plywood. So I don't know what exactly the situation is there, but I think it looks a little bit cleaner with the toolbox up, or the toolbox stand up. You have your rumble seat here in the back. I don't know if it's locked or unlocked. There we go. So we got your rear seat. If you want to, take some passengers along, probably wouldn't be the safest, but there's no belts because this was in the 30s. But you get the rumble seat in the back, which is really awesome. You step up on here and then to there to get in the back seat. I can't imagine it's very elegant, but I'm just amazed of how good condition it came out in. But here's the engine. Got your engine cover, not a normal engine cover as you would typically see, but you got your fuel bowl here, your carburetor, distributor. You can see all 4 plugs just right on the top. Super simple, not much to it, but I'm just shocked that it's still kicking after all these. Oh, that's so cool. Even your coil's just sitting up top. But yeah, so the issue with it was, and I explained this in a previous video, but essentially this is my grandfather's car. He didn't have this car brand new. He bought it sometime in the, I want to say 70s or 80s. Whenever he was able to afford just a cool toy, and he really wanted a Model A. So this is what he got. He unfortunately passed away in 06, and the car stayed with my grandmother from 06 till about 3 years ago. And it just basically sat. My grandmother ended up giving the car to me, which I was not expecting. It was just randomly got a call one day, and she said that she wanted to pass it down. And I'm extremely thankful, obviously, to have this awesome, beautiful car, piece of history, and piece of my grandfather. But unfortunately, it had left sit, basically, from 06 till just 3 years ago. So, I don't know, what, like 14 years it had left sit? Being started, I guess, like intermittently, I guess, by a family friend that was coming over. But they left it sit with half a tank of gas in it, which let the top half of the tank rust pretty bad. And whenever I got the car, my dad and I tried to clean the tank out a bit to try to get the fuel from stop clogging all the lines. But unfortunately, it needed a little bit more work than we were able to do just here in the garage, here in my garage. So we took it to the same guy that did the Challenger, which is in that garage over there. And he took the tank out. The whole tank had to come out, which isn't an easy process on this car, because the tank is like kind of built into the car here. Like, this is the gas tank, that's the fuel cap, and all of this has to come out. So that had to come out, had to be repainted. The hood had to be repainted because it was just in a really bad shape just because of how much movement it takes. Repainted it, redid all the pinstriping down the sides here, which came out flawless, honestly. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to take it for a drive. I hope, and I really hope, that it doesn't die on me. I have a tendency to be stranded with older cars, especially the Challenger. So I'm hoping I'm gonna keep running it just like around the neighborhood, just to make sure everything's all good before I take it, because I don't want to risk having to get it towed. It's too old, and I don't want to risk any damage to it from a tow truck or whatever the situation may be. I don't know what the AWD stands for, to be completely honest with you, because it's not all-wheel drive. Obviously, it's a 1930 car. There's not all-wheel drive. So I don't know if this was the initials of perhaps the original owner, or whenever it was repainted sometime between 1930 and whenever my grandfather got it, because these aren't his initials. So I'm not sure, but there they are. Hop in here. Oh. There's no seat adjustment, of course. We got your classic sound. I mean, how can you not be happy when you hear? You just, you know, you feel like you're just taken back. Taken back. We got your dash here. We got 12,000 miles on her. Got about half a tank of gas. Here you got your choke. I guess I'll show you around the inside a little bit. So you got your shifter. You got your parking brake. Got your choke. Brake. Clutch. So you'd wonder, like, okay, well, if this is the brake and this is the clutch, the gas is this, and this is just for somewhere for your foot to rest, and then to start it is actually all the way up here. So you gotta hit that button up there to start it. And then these are timing and spark advance. If you have owned any recent cars, you wouldn't even know what that is. Basically, the timing of the engine had to be adjusted, like kind of like on the fly. So as you increase in RPM, because it doesn't show you your RPM, you also have to adjust your timing. Luckily, the way he has the timing set in it right now, you actually don't have to mess with the timing, which is just out of convenience, because it's just a real pain. You're sitting here, you're putting the clutch in, you're shifting gears, you're adjusting your timing, and then it starts to rain, and you have to move your windshield wiper in and out. It's just not. All right, so we're gonna see how this goes. If I get stranded, this will make for a funny part of the video. Take the e-brake off. Okay, got your ignition. You have to choke it out to get it to start naturally. So let's see if we can get her to go. I mean, she is running. I mean, we look good. I mean, the car looks good. I don't know if I look good. So, all right, like I said, I'm just gonna try to take it around the loop once, just because I don't want to risk damaging the thing. All right, we got no power steering, naturally. So it's like you're driving a big bus. Oh, don't you just feel like, I feel like I need like a Tommy gun and a top hat, you know what I'm saying? Brakes are also, you know, they could be a bit better. Oh, this is nice. We're cruising. The camera's probably shaking a ton. The miles per hour is just kind of like rotating, flopping about. So I don't really know how fast I'm going. Luckily, driving this thing is like driving a go-kart. So I guess I don't, thankfully, probably can't go too fast even if I want to. Listen to the sound of the 30s. I feel like this would be a great car for a first date, you know? You go pick up the girl, you bring a cane, a top hat, a monocle perhaps. Get a view of that front. Try to give her some beans. Oh yeah, listen to that. Listen to the raw power of, like, I actually don't even know how many horsepower this thing has. I should probably check that out. It's not a lot. I can't imagine this thing would, man, can you imagine driving this thing on the highway, like the interstate? You're just like flying by at 20 miles an hour, getting passed by like a kid's like Power Wheels or something. Oh yeah, yeah, she goes. She goes. All right, now it will be the task of properly pulling it into the garage. Reverse in this car is actually up and to the left of all places. That's not your typical orientation for reverse. All right, pull her up a little bit. You know, you gotta. The good thing about this car is you never have to go to the gym because it's a full arm workout to get it where you want it to go in the first place. There she goes. Oh, and we're back home. So she is smoking a tad. So that's something that will have to be adjusted. I would say I'll try to mess around with it myself. But the thing about this car is it has a lot of sentimental value, obviously, being that it's my grandfather's. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm some master mechanic and know exactly how how it all goes. Yeah, I didn't quite grow up with cars of this nature. I'm used to cars that, you know, the windshield wiper wasn't like a little knob you pulled and pushed, that there was no spark advance or timing adjustment. There wasn't a crank in the toolbox. There wasn't a crank in the toolbox to, you know, turn your engine over if it wouldn't start. This was just a totally different era. And I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what I'm doing, and I don't want to risk damaging the car, is the thing. So any kinks that need to be ironed out, anything that needs to be worked on, I'm going to speak to the respective people that know exactly how to get everything pristine. No intention of selling it. I don't ever want to sell it. My plan is, if I do ever have children, to pass it down, even if I don't, to someone in the family. I never want to get rid of this car. Not to mention, cars like this, I mean, you're never going to see them again, right? There's only a finite number of these things left, never to be made again. And as we're going closer and closer to EV and all electric vehicles, like manuals alone, let alone almost 100-year-old car, there's just, as years go by, there's going to be fewer and fewer of them. So I want to try to keep this thing alive as long as I can. And I'm extremely grateful to have this car. And I'm intending to bring it to a couple shows here. I'm not sure if I'll end up like driving it there or trailering it to shows, just because, like I said, finite amount of them left. I don't really want to risk damaging it at all. So I don't know if I'll trailer it. I mean, on the highway, it's just, to be honest, it's kind of dangerous to drive. I don't know how reliable it is. There's no seatbelts. There's no safety, anything. And I don't even think it could go like the speed of most highways. Like there's highways here that are like 70, 75 speed limit. I don't know about you, but I don't think she's gonna get there. I truthfully don't even know how much this car costs today. Because I've looked at prices of Model A's, but it's been hard for me to find. So this is a 1930 Model A Deluxe Roadster. So it's not like a normal Model A, because I actually did, matter of fact, at the gym just last week, saw a Model A parked outside, which I was super surprised, but it was a coupe, so it had the whole top on it. You don't see too many of these Roadsters. I think last I checked, whenever I tried to find something comparable, whenever it was first given to me, I think I was looking in like the $30,000 range. This car was older than my grandfather himself. The fact that in 7 years this will be a 100-year-old car is crazy. So I was expecting this to be worth far more than 30. So I was really surprised. But like I said, not that it matters. I don't ever want to sell it. Even if it was worth $1 million, I wouldn't want to sell it. But yeah, I was just surprised. I thought would have been worth more. I mean, that's a piece of history. We got the Ford, we got the Chevy, And we got the Challenger, we got the Dodge, we got all three. We got the big 3 major US brands. I'm honored. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, comment. I would really appreciate it. Let me know of any other videos that you guys would like to see in the future. I'm gonna be doing a video here very soon on the Aventador and a video very soon on the Challenger. So I'm waiting for the guy that did all the work on the Challenger to give me like a detailed breakdown of every part that was added, how much work was done. I just want everything documented just to keep with the car. Even this car has a whole book of documentation that that came with it. Records when it was serviced all the way back to like the 50s, which is really crazy. So I want to keep that type of record with the Challenger as well. So I'm waiting for the guy that worked on it. His name's Todd, waiting for Todd to send me the breakdown just so I can be accurate in my video that all the information is correct. I also emailed the Lamborghini dealership that we got this from for all the service records on that car, because that car has had a lot of problems, and he actually sent me all of the service records for it. So I'm gonna print it out, show you guys exactly how much it cost in service, maintenance, repairs in the 8 years that we've had it, and it's been expensive. So I'm gonna film that video as well. But yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.